Oh, good morning. It's your old friend Geri Atrik. And I'm going to tell you about an experience I had when I first started working in New York. Um, I had gone through, I don't know how many tests to see what my I was made to do. In other words, what were you going to be good at? And I went, I don't know, something called Johnson Higgins, and I went to a couple other places. And they gave you all these tests, and they all pointed to being some sort of a salesperson. So anyway, I ended up through a friend to work for a company called Palmer Display Associates, and they were in what they call point of sale advertising. At that point, I had no idea what what it was, but I was immersed in it very quickly because the person that was supposed to be my mentor, Carl Bergman, a lifelong friend and associate, all of a sudden got very ill and was operated on. He was out like for 2 months. So I was working directly for John Mumford Palmer, who was the founder of this company. And he was a character. But anyway, after a couple of weeks there, he said, "Oh, come out and have lunch with me." So we went to this favorite place where they knew exactly what he wanted. He had 2 scotches at lunch every day, and he always had to have new ice in the next drink. I mean, not to pour it into the same glass. He wanted new ice. But at that time, there had been a resurgence of publicity or whatever about F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I've forgotten exactly what year it was, but Bud Schulberg had come out with a book, and part of it was about his experience with F. Scott Fitzgerald at a Dartmouth winter carnival, where they had been employed by Walter Wanger, Hollywood producer, to go up there and write a script for Ice Carnival or something like that. Well, anyway, Fitzgerald was in the throes of his alcoholism at that point. And I guess it was a lost weekend. But Bud Schulberg got taken into the plot too, and he was drinking a lot along with Scott. But anyway, they never got the script done up there. But anyway, I had just read this, and when I was having lunch with Mr. Palmer, I said, I've just read a very interesting book about F. Scott Fitzgerald. And he said, "Don't you ever mention that name in front of me." And, I had no idea what he was talking about. So when I got back to the office, there was Betty Merchant, who was his secretary for years. I said, "Betty, what's the story on that?" That he got so excited when I mentioned F. Scott Fitzgerald. She said, "Well, that was his brother-in-law. John Palmer was married to Zelda's sister, Clothilde." I thought, "Oh my God!" Then I looked back at maybe some newspaper clippings about their marriage in New York of F. Scott and Zelda. And Palmer, he wasn't best man, but he was a member of the wedding party. And, they always felt that Scott ruined Zelda, not vice versa, but that he was the cause of all her problems, which were really not true, but anyway. So that was my introduction to lunch in New York, and that concludes the story for today.